Hello viewers and welcome to program State Affairs with Usama Khurshid. Viewers, today we will discuss the ongoing power shuffling in the major powers of Middle East, which are Iran and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Viewers, on November 4, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia announced an unprecedented move by arresting a dozen of princes, current and former officials and businessmen in what was portrayed as an anti-corruption drive aimed at restoring the kingdom's financial viability. King Salman established an anti-corruption committee under chairmanship of the son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who swiftly moved to order high-profile arrests, among which included Al-Walid bin Talal. He is the owner of Kingdom Holdings and shareholder in Twitter and Citigroup, among many other high-profile enterprises. Moreover, the Mehtab bin Abdullah, son of a former King Abdullah and Minister of National Guard, which is tasked with quashing internal dissent against royal institutions. Anti-corruption has always been a popular slogan among the masses of any society, and it generates a favorable image of the originator of the act in the consciousness of the public. Certainly, this generation of favorable image among masses is imperative for any aspiring king of kingdom, which is infamously known for its puritanical governance method. Irrespective of the apparent reasons behind those arrests, underlying matter of power consolidation and competing vision portray a different story. Viewers, the current Crown Prince MBS has been edging for an absolute control of the kingdom ever since his father, the current king, promoted him to the position of a Crown Prince. The 33-year-old ambitious and eccentric Crown Prince is the force behind Vision 2030, which aspires to transform the Saudi society and economy in a radical manner and prepare the kingdom for a post-oil economy. But these radical social and economic reforms require a central authority under whom tremendous power is vested and who has an unparalleled social control over various institutions in the kingdom like Saudi Arabia. Viewers, on contrary, the dynamics of Middle Eastern countries are in disorder. Iran witnessed a grimmer situation in form of domestic protests. Viewers, in historical context, by April of 1979, the Ayatollah had gained official power and Iran became an Islamic republic. In the year that followed, Iran fought against Iraq, had to face increased international sanctions, and in most recent times, its Middle Eastern version of a Cold War with Saudi Arabia has left it both weary and torpid. Viewers, that weariness is on full display currently when a fresh wave of uncertainty has gripped the nation once more. The same streets where Iranians came out in thousands in support of the Ayatollah 4 decades ago can now be seen tearing off his place cards and posters. His words of wisdom that once gave the nation its direction were being ridiculed and criticized. Has Iran's revolution come at the standstill? Now, this is the question. Viewers, there were numerous and enormous reasons for the Iran protests. Hassan Rouhani's policies, which have been labeled as the regressive, have been successful in bringing down inflation, but have led to zero job growth. His policies called Salahi Isfahani aim to increase taxes while limiting cash transfers. These are the steps that has been labeled as one of the primary reasons behind the current chaos in Iran. Some other scenarios worth mentioning is that of women partaking in protests and shredding off their burqas in defiance of the regime's pro-Islamic theocratic order. It has been dubbed as possibly the movement when the general populace may have grown weary of the theocratic system of rule and demand more liberty that has been denied to them. Viewers, let me tell you that an 8 billion budget for the Revolutionary Guards has been made the subject of particular criticism because of the dwindling economic situation within the country and the general opposition to spending on involvement in the regional wars such as Syria. the nuclear arm deals and the supposed economic benefits of it was the main selling point that got Rouhani his second term. Now, a Washington Post poll indicated that nearly 74% of the population believes the deal has brought no economic benefits for the country and shows skepticism in Rouhani's vision to lead Iran. Viewers, now the question that popped into mind is, why there is power shuffling in both major powers of the Middle East? For instance, in KSA, the power shuffling is limited to the people sitting in the echelon of the state, whereas in Iran, the demonstration was from people against the state. Why is it so? Okay, the answer lies in the political structure of the states. Look, in Iran, there is theocracy, whereas in KSA, there is a monarchy. But the more important thing is that why the major powers are in transitional phase. Viewers, let's chalk out the points for these major powers of the Middle East. KSA has seen major changes after the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman been taken into power. He announced the political, social and economic reforms. All of this indicates that efforts were underway toward a more open and modernized Saudi Arabia. More importantly, Saudi Arabia has long been wary of the looming economic challenge. The kingdom has remained dependent on its oil supply for a long period, but now they are moving away from it because the first world is moving away from the oil. Interestingly, let me tell you that United Kingdom set the benchmark of 2040 that no petrol and diesel car will be sold after it. Moreover, France's government said that it wants to end sales of gas and diesel-powered vehicles by 2040 as it fights global warming. Now, the arch rival of Pakistan, India, gave the deadline of 2030, whereas Norway has set the benchmark of 2025. So no oil sales for KSA after 2030? Now this thing justified the Mohammed bin Salman Vision 2030. And for that vision, KSA must provide the freedom and liberty to the common man. A case in point for KSA's current regime to either reform or eventually perish. The KSA role has been done in the Middle East to some extent, whereas Iran is the bigger threat to the United States of America. Now, if we think out of the box, why Iran is having the protests and Ayatollah Khomeini alleged CIA and United States of America for injecting these protests into the society of Iran. Now, what we call the fifth column. USA has triggered them, but why? The answer again lies in the history. Iran has something in their DNA. In 550 BCE, Cyrus the Great, king of the Persians, gathered the Iranian people together for the first time. Cyrus continued to expand the Persian territory to the west and to gain control of vital trade routes that crossed modern Iran. This genetic capability is worrisome for the United States of America. Viewers, it is very pertinent to mention that if we shredded the historical course, we get to know that Shah Pahlavi was being supported by the United States of America. But when Iran was becoming economically strong, the United States of America feed the protests in Iran and support Ayatollah Khomeini for famous revolution. So in holistic view, the destabilization in Iran will achieve the end goals for United States of America, as Washington is afraid of the expansionism of Iran. Viewers, in the last, let me tell you that perhaps the tragedy of all revolutions is that in the end, they all fall short of the lofty goals they set out to achieve in the long run. America, Russia, Cuba, China, France, Bolivia, Mexico, the list goes on, and include Iran, where revolutions managed to allure the general population, but in the end, the allure fades away and gives way to the realization that through countries survive, sooner or later they come back to square one with little to nothing to show off for all their efforts. Viewers, that's it for today. Take care of yourself and your national affairs. Bye-bye.